Under the same moon, we share the love, embracing the differences like hand in glove. Spreading peace and joy, it's a beautiful sight. Together we shine in each other's light. United we stand in love's pure might. Watching the world share in love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Watching the World, our news at noon. We have so much to talk about, but a bit of good news today. The S&P 500 is up for the last 4 days straight. So if you've invested there, you have something to rejoice about. Also, when it comes to gold, gold has hit its record today at $4,500 an ounce. A lot of that has to do with the war potentially that could arise in Venezuela. So that's good news if you have money in gold or you're looking to get in. The best time to get in is to get in while it's low and sell high. So we may have missed that boat. But so much to rejoice about as far as the economy. When you look at the GDP for the last 2 years, according to the report that came out yesterday, it has grown for the last 2 years at the record amount. So a great time to get into the stock market and invest. I have a stock that I'm going to release today. So I just encourage you to do your due diligence while it's at $3. This particular stock is associated with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is trying to come to the United States. And with that, this company is a good ally. Potentially, a lot of these chips that NVIDIA makes, the chips get so hot. So this particular company produces the water and the chemical bases in order to cool down these particular chips. So definitely do your research when I release this particular stock today, just for you to delve into it. And if you do feel comfortable buying some, then go right ahead. But for the most part, I encourage you to do your due diligence and do your homework. As you know, I encourage many people to buy SoFi. SoFi is up tremendously. Also, Rocket Lab, when I put it out, it was $2. Now it's around $50, and Tesla around $90 when I first put it out, and now it's up to right around $500 and growing. So these are all things to consider. I see we have people here in the audience, great people. We have Stella, we have Deborah. Thank you guys for all the support. Today, we're going to get into a few topics that are pressing. Number one, we're going to talk briefly about the Epstein Files. As you know, we thought we had 95,000 files. Now it turns out that there's something of the sort of 1 million missing files. Isn't that something? Let's get to it.
Breaking news to share with you. The department.
Let's see here. We have a little technical issue. Let's remove this. Okay, we're going to get to the Epstein Files here.
As it has uncovered, and I'm quoting here, 1 million more documents potentially related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Caitlin Polance is here. Caitlin, with these documents, do we know if they're above and beyond all of the ones they already have? And if so, what that's going to mean to the release?
Yeah, this is quite a Christmas news drop, Sarah. The Justice Department now revealing that they are still discovering files from Jeffrey Epstein and all of the different parts of the Justice Department that had files related to him in various investigations. In this statement, this was just out about 20 minutes ago, the Justice Department now says the Southern District of New York, so that's their prosecutor's office out of Manhattan, and the FBI have informed the Department of Justice they've uncovered over 1 million more documents potentially related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. The impact there, it means that the Department of Justice is going to be processing these before.
I think these files are really going to cause a problem because, remember, they were gearing up to prosecute Epstein. And so if the Department of Justice really wasn't paying attention, let's say Pam Bondi or what have you, did not really know about these files, and these files get released after they tried to clean them up a bit, and these files come out raw, that could be a big problem for anyone in Epstein's orbit.
Before they can all be posted transparently under the law for weeks. Here's a little bit more of the statement. We have lawyers working around the clock to review and make the legally required.
Hey guys, we want to welcome in Virgil. Virgil says it's like a virus, but artificial. Okay, so you think there's a lot of artificial files. Thank you very much for your comments. Stella says great way to support the show by double tapping the screen and liking the show, subscribe and share. Thank you guys very much for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you.
Redactions to protect victims, and we will release the documents as soon as possible. Due to the mass volume of material, this process may take a few more weeks. This comes on the heels as well of yesterday. Prosecutors in the Southern District of Florida, so in and around Miami, being asked to volunteer their time and jump on board the group that is already looking at these Epstein files. This email from leadership in the department said they needed volunteers. It was an emergency. They understood it was the holidays, but there are more documents than they.
Now, keep in mind when they say a million files, they're not saying a million pages. So each file could have several different pages, maybe 10 pages, 100 pages. So when they say a million files, it's way more than you could imagine.
They have enough people to reviewing right now. They need more hands on deck. Sarah?
This is going to fuel all sorts of questions about how the DOJ has handled this, both the left and the right, both going after the DOJ. How does this all fit in with the law that has been put in place that the president signed, the Transparency Act as well? It requires that they had put these out way earlier altogether, and now here we are.
The requirement was that they would all have been released last Friday. That was the day for all of the files to become transparent that was mandated for the Justice Department. They did not meet that deadline. And there's another deadline upcoming, January 3rd. That is the day when the Department of Justice is going to have to tell Congress, here's everything we did to redact in these files and the reasons for those redactions. If they're not even through all of the documents by then, they're digging a hole that already is reaching a lot of people and getting a lot of public and political criticism for it. There are members of Congress calling for contempt for the Attorney General for not meeting the deadline, and others who want to go to court. It is not over. There are more.
Did you guys notice that Bill Clinton says to Donald Trump, basically, go ahead and put out anything you have on me. Put it all out now. Let's get this over with. I think it's good for publicity that he took that approach.
Files, and there will also be much more reaction as well. Sarah?
Yeah, and we could have some of the files, not the million they haven't gone through, but some of the files that they have gone through already put out in any moment now. In the next couple of days, we're expecting those as well. I know you will be all over it and working really hard through the holiday. So I thank you, Caitlin Polance, for joining us today with that breaking news.
The U.S.
Now, with all this that's happening with Epstein, would you believe that people were out in the cold protesting Donald Trump? That's how much they disregard. They do not like the current president of the United States. So let's check out some of the footage, boots on the ground. So there you have it, out in the cold, protesting about this administration. They want the president to be impeached without a shadow of a doubt. Thousands of people show up for these protests. As you know, I cover most of these protests. I travel to bring you guys good footage. A lot of this is about expression, and I want to show you coming up some of the expressions is mind-boggling. Even some have a tone of violence attached with it. You'll see that in about a minute or so. But this is a mixture of Americans and people abroad that travel to participate in these protests against the United States President, Donald J. Trump. You could also see on some of the signs, it says F Trump, lies, so much going on. But it's a huge investment for people to travel to engage in this protest, even myself. So imagine you spend your Christmas holiday protesting about the president and his administration. And check out some of the signs and what people are saying as a matter of expression. Now, here's the violence that I'm talking about. Notice this guy here coming up. You see him dragging 3? You see that there? This is allowed, but take a look at it. You see in the middle they have ICE. The first one tends to be someone dressed up in a suit, red tie. So these people are very expressive. But that gives you an idea of what we see by covering a lot of the different protests. As you know, I continue to cover these. Takes quite the sacrifice, but I'm glad to do it. We're going to move on now to the strikes that the President of the United States sent out, basically had sent out. In regards to the Christians, a lot of people are concerned about it, what was happening to the Christians. I'm actually going to show you some testimony from individuals that have been affected, that are boots on the ground, living there, talking about their experience and what's happening to those Christians. But first, we're going to take a look and see what the President of the United States did in regards to this matter, as he promised, by the way.
Your screen right here, as a new video clip released by the Trump administration shows the launch of the U.S. strike conducted Christmas Day on Islamic State forces in Nigeria. President Trump announcing the powerful and deadly strike, he says, on Christmas night, weeks after first accusing the West African country's government of failing to stop the persecution of Christians. Trump did take to Truth Social to post this right here, and this is just a portion of it. He says, tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay, and tonight there was. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Mike.
So definitely the president is not playing games when it comes to his promises in regards to certain matters such as Christianity and people being abused. We see a lot of activity happening abroad due to abuse. So that's one good thing that people can say about the president.
Waltz had this to say when speaking to Fox News back in November.
Clergy are being beheaded.
Yeah.
Churches are being burned, families chased out of their homes simply for wearing a cross. We know how to take down terrorist networks, but we've done it all over the world. But I think there's a lot of other things we can do before that. The country of particular concern unleashes sanctions, withholds our aid, and we're seeing the Nigerian government move.
And you are taking a look at the post here from Ambassador Waltz. He posted on the strike last night, kind of quote tweeting what President Trump had to say, saying, quote, "Merry Christmas to the Christians in Nigeria and around the world who know tonight that the President of the United States will fight for them," end quote.
Okay, so let me take you to see what some of these individuals are actually saying that's happening in their local neighborhoods.
50 Christians have been gruesomely murdered in the ongoing genocide in Nigeria. Frank Uto, a Nigerian lawyer and native of Yelawata, joins us now. Frank, these 50 that have been killed recently, you were talking with me before we got started about the manner in which
Okay, so Craig Hammer says, yes, it's way past time to stop the Muslim killings. Okay, thank you for your comment. Oh, One Love is back. Nice to have you. Nigeria has the 11th richest oil reserve. So much for protecting Christians. Let that simmer in your spirit. Thank you for your comments, guys. Keep them coming. I try to express your comments as much as possible. All right, let's get back to it.
They were killed. It wasn't, a bomb or something. This was a gruesome event. Can you tell me how these 50 people died?
The way they kill our people is in the most horrific, the most gruesome.
Now, this is pretty bad. I want to give you a heads up. It's pretty gruesome. They don't show the pictures, but he's describing it. I'm just going to show you a tad bit. No need to get too deeply involved with this gruesome activity.
The most cruel manner anyone could ever think. It will make even the devil to shiver. Because what they do is that when they come around, you run into your hut, into your house. And then what they do is that they will now, cycle the house with fear. They will lit fire on the house. And then when you are coming out, they will now hack you down with machete. So they're cutting you as if they're cutting a piece of wood.
Okay, enough of that. So you hear how brutal it is with these individuals, so much so that they hate the Christians. They do this all in the name of their beliefs, in harmony with their God and their beliefs. So something to think about. Why would you be so terrible in the way that they're treating their neighbors and fellow humans? So Donald Trump is definitely sending out a message in regards to this matter, and hopefully this causes the tension to really cut back, because nothing else stops these individuals from taking other people's lives. Here in the United States, there's an issue with the United States Post Office going bankrupt. Did you hear about that? In fact, the contract that they had with Amazon is now up. So let's get to this as well. Let's examine it.
U.S. Postal Service could run out of money by the year 2027. So now it's looking for some new ways to avoid that cash crunch. Way 31's Chris Tatum shows us how it is now offering to run the last leg of deliveries for its competitors.
Already online, people are blaming the Republicans and Donald Trump administration for what's happening with the Postal Service. What do you guys think about that? Do you think this is on this administration, or do you think it was just bound to happen?
It's a pretty dire situation for the U.S. Postal Service. Unless it finds new ways to generate revenue, it's about to be broke. So it's offering to make what's called last mile deliveries now for its competitors, FedEx and UPS.
Muddy Happy Mama says God help them, more than likely talking about those Christians. So I guess many of them would see it as an act of God, perhaps because they're getting some attention, perhaps even stopping the violence on some sort of level, if not all.
Last mile delivery literally means when
I doubt all, but some help indeed.
When that package is on the truck and out for delivery. Delivery companies, including the U.S. Postal Service, consider that the most expensive part of the process. The Postal Service already does last mile delivery for Amazon. It's now seeking bids from UPS and FedEx to offer them that same service.
So the government is basically trying to find some sort of deal to stay alive, to keep hope alive, because the postal system is pretty much on life support. What do you guys think about that? Amazon, I know in my local area, they're delivering Amazon packages 7 days a week. And so now that the contract is up, it looks like they're trying to figure out some way anyway to kind of keep this whole system going.
Simply put, the money they paid the Postal Service could save it from going broke, and those other companies could save money not having to make those expensive last mile deliveries. But get this, Amazon's deal with the Postal Service ends in December, and it's right now considering whether to renew it. That means U.S. postal leaders don't have much time right now to strike some new deal if they want to stay in business.
Or it probably puts Amazon in a better position to get better numbers, which would put the United States Post Office already in a really low state, as though it's not already occurring. One Love says China has not been at war in the last 50 years. The U.S. every day since the last 50 years. That tells you something. China seems to have a different art of war. We talked about it on the channel many times before, especially when it comes to food. They're buying up the land here in the United States, especially around the military bases. So it looks like they have a different method to their madness. Stella says, enjoy what you're watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and consider becoming a member. Thank you so much for that. Now we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about what's happening with the Somalians. And this is a big issue that's really concerning. In fact, I think the bill will be left up for the fellow Americans to pay for this outrageous fraud by means of the taxes. But we're going to get to it. We're going to examine what's happening there. We're also going to get a chance to see by means of boots on the ground. Mr. Shirley is out there, and I'm going to go through some of his footage as to showing you how bad the fraud is. They have a whole scheme set up only to rob the government of money, allegedly. But let's get to it.
Joining us, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Greg, thanks for coming on. First of all, these mayors are concerned that the projected $18 billion surplus.
Okay, truth be told, says Trump is the only chance we have to save the country. Okay, thank you for that. Mud Happy Mama says Trump is doing a fantastic job. Okay, thank you. We have a lot of Trump supporters here. Deborah says this job used to go to civil service workers, former military personnel. What are we doing? What a good question. Thank you, Deborah, for that.
Which has disappeared for the 2028-2029 biennium, is now replaced with a $3 billion debt.
Guys, take a moment, hit the like button. Thank you very much for all the support.
Deficit. So ultimately, taxpayers will be on the hook for this alleged rampant fraud in Minnesota, right?
Oh, it just gets worse and worse, Edward. And the sheer magnitude of this fraud, $9 billion, and it's probably more than that.
$9 billion and nobody's watching. Like, how in the world can someone get that much from the government and no one catches it until it's $9 billion? That's insanity, right?
That is really, I think, an indictment of the utter incompetence of Tim Walz, who famously called himself a knucklehead during the VP debate, and now he's determined to prove it. He failed or refused to recognize one of the greatest ripoffs of taxpayer money ever that was happening under his nose. And, together with his scandal.
Now, he was running for vice president of the United States. Now, look, if he can't even run the state, and that's a big issue of trying to run a humongous country, right?
Like Attorney General Keith Ellison, they are the dumb and dumber of Minnesota politics. They're both to blame because they were repeatedly warned about it. And instead of stopping all the graft,
I want you guys to stick around for the next video because you're going to see how they're really running a sham.
They helped the scams flourish. Walz apparently retaliated against the whistleblowers who bravely came forward. And he also tried to discredit all the reports of fraud. That's not just rank incompetence. It's intentional malfeasance. No thanks to him, but thanks to the Trump administration, 92 people have been criminally charged so far, and right. I bet there'll be a lot more.
Yeah, 92 people, but 8 billion, there's no way. There has to be a whole network of people involved in this terrible action.
It's always the cover-up, right, in the history of investment.
Vado says it's all about what delivery companies deliveries the most. That's where investors are going to invest. Thank you very much. That's in regards to the U.S. Postal Service that is potentially going bankrupt. What a shame.
Investigation. So in the letter, Greg, it says the state has slipped in national rankings over the past 5 years. And, quote, there is a growing disconnect between state-level fiscal decisions and the strain they place on cities we lead. When the state expands programs or shifts responsibilities without stable funding, it is our residents, families, seniors, businesses, and workers who ultimately bear the cost. So, Greg, what's the disconnect? And that disconnect, is it weighing on the elections going forward, do you think? The disconnect between, what is happening and what the people are feeling with these budget deficits as well as this fraud?
Yeah, well, only in a place like Minnesota could a guy like Walz get elected in the first place, and now he has the audacity to run again for a third term. But look, Edward, this is what happens when the government starts handing out free money for social welfare programs, food and housing and health care, $1 trillion under Biden a year. And they were relying on systemic.
One Love says, why are the taxpayers responsible for the illegal practices of this government? Thank you very much. Good comment. Truth Be Told says, imagine how many other blue states could have their own thing going on with fraud. Okay, thank you.
corrupt states like Minnesota and its bungling governor to oversee those programs. The result, of course, is a predictable morass of swindles and theft. And what's so insidious about it is all the con artists knew they could get away with it because, as your report pointed out, hapless Democrats and the liberal media thought that prosecuting Somalis, that's racist. God forbid putting criminals behind bars might lose precious votes. So the fleecing of funds only escalated with impunity as they gave the fraudsters a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Yeah, and I want to hit a point that you just made here. The problem of these big government programs is that they possibly lose sight of accountability, right? And that plagues some of those states run by Democrats.
Right.
A lot of the programs that you'll see in the next video with the breakdown, it involves these adult homes. They have a whole scam going where they're just basically fleecing money from the government and not really providing an end product. Like, how come the government is not doing the investigation of these matters? When people are on welfare, the government watch every little move they make, right? At least that's the way the myth goes. But you let 8 billion get out the door and no one even catches it until such a mass number.
And the Social Security fraud in California during the pandemic. What is the root cause that allows this fraud to happen?
Yeah, I mean, 31 billion they've
Somebody's asleep at the wheel. That's what's happening. Mad Happy Mama says, can you believe Newsome is supposed to run for president? What a joke. A lot of people are not happy about that, but he is. David Williams says, I can't believe that much money was stolen. And I wonder, did Omar get the $30 million from kickbacks from the people that took the money? Okay, welcome into you, David Williams. Leon says people got to realize that this is not the United States of America no more. It's the United States of Israel. Okay, great point. Solid point. Uncommon Woman, welcome back. Thank you for the tremendous support. Says blessings, Mel in the chat room. Thank you very much.
Discovered in fraud in California so far. The same thing is happening in Ohio. And, look, the government is so huge. The budget is so enormous. And they hand out trillions.
Guys, we have 300 people. Please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of dollars for the social welfare programs and say, oh, we're giving it to you, your state, and it's up to you to monitor it. The problem is in a lot of blue cities and states, they don't bother to double check that people are putting in, money to feed hungry children. They're not getting.
Nobody's paying attention. That's the point we really need to understand and walk away with. But let's look at some of these case in points.
To ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about?
Apparently to a slam door, right? Nobody's home or not interested, right? Get out of here. That's what the pushback he's getting.
About the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building.
Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota.
Folks, this is happening in the United States of America, whether you like it or not.
As literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia.
$9 billion. What the helly, as Deborah would say. David Williams says this has to be investigated to find out who was involved in this scam. I second that. One Love says senior living homes. Okay, thank you for the details. Okay, Don says, I don't believe they're asleep. I believe they look the other way on purpose. What a good way to look at that. Thank you very much.
These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare.
Guys, Nick Shirley, who I met in New York City when he was covering, we both were covering this whole, in New York City on Canal Street, they had this big federal raid because they sell those knockoff bags. So I was actually there when one of the guys attacked this gentleman, Nick Shirley. So go check out his channel. He covers these cases at a grand scale.
purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the U.S. taxpayers.
So allegedly, some of these billions, some of that money is going to support terrorist groups, according to what he's saying. That's insane.
Expense. And in this video, we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked.
Okay, before we get started, Truth Be Told says there's clear malice just in the fact that they are able to appropriate those kind of funds with zero oversight. What a shame. Mud Happy Mama says that's why they didn't want Trump in the office, because he would stop the fraud. Okay, thank you. Joe says the United States of Israel, why not we gave them free health care, thanks Trump. Okay, all right, a lot of good comments coming in. 101 says, great job. Stella says, like, share, and subscribe, and turn on your notifications to be notified about upcoming shows. Let's get to it.
How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these child care centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these
Most states have that.
companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever.
Okay, Uncommon Woman says, Mel, have you covered the welfare fraud in New Jersey? No, but I'll cover it for you next.
Cross checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
So right here we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state Capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare.
Now, you would think the government would have discovered this at a high level, but look, it was really a nosy neighbor, they would say, that figured it out, right?
It is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a child care not far from here in Minneapolis that has two child cares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children. I have never seen a single child there ever. And I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these child care centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violations, and even though they have these violations, they're still in operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money.
It's hard to believe that the government was not paying attention or someone was looking the other way.
And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing is you have daycare So you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in
This is unbelievable.
St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And the government knows about this.
The government knows, they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks. What has happened?
Oh my, he says the Democrats, folks.
Is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud. And they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not worry about it. Tim Walz saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This is the Minnesota law, which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walz is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history.
I can imagine it happens in other states too, right? What do you guys think? Mud Happy Mama says they have released the Epstein Files. Okay, thank you for that. Oregon, welcome back, says Democrats cheated to install Biden. Okay, tell us, what did they do? Did they rig the election? What are you saying? Uncommon Woman says they cheated to install Obama. Okay, wow. Stella says, okay, hi. Okay, One Love says transporting ghosts. Basically, that's what it boils down to, right?
Anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to these daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon.
Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Child Care, which actually has another child care registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
All right, as we watch the video, look out for the children that go to these daycare centers and also the adults that are in these adult homes. They might be invisible.
So we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
Chad says the data is 100% accurate and bullshit. Thank you.
None of those vans have moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, one of them received $1.3 million. In 2021, they got $987,000.
Said Bates says, Mel, wait till you hit Texas. That's where they learn the game. Okay, thank you. We'll have to check out Texas. What's happening with Texas?
In 2022, they got $714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, 1.60.
For those that are just coming in, we're covering some of the fraud that's happening in Minnesota in regards to the Somalians allegedly. Breaking news in regards to this matter.
$4 million in fiscal year 2025. Fiscal year 2024, they got about $800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059. This place right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually two daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center.
Folks, he's just a concerned citizen, not the government. The government is not even paying attention. They just handing out $9 billion. Deborah says, I feel like someone gained from this. Absolutely. Bobby says, get them gone. Okay, all right, let's keep going.
And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility as you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
Guys, the gentleman there, his name is Nick Shirley. Go check him out.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell? Yeah. Try to get in, rang the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a place.
Okay, guys, we have a critical thinker here. Chad, thank you very much. Always nice to have someone pushing back. I'm totally with that. Chad says, I don't see a problem with the same address. With some of the addresses, a business may not be a physical address to do transportation or DME wholesaler. Okay, thank you.
Around or something outside, or
There's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this.
Okay, Joe is pushing back too. Joe says almost 2026. Where's the video proof? I'm calling bullshit on a MAGA crybaby. Call him a crybaby.
Building right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming through.
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No. Can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center? I'm not sure. I don't.
Doesn't know if she's ever seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location.
And the fraud only gets more from here. Make sure you stay till the very end of this video to see exactly how much fraud we find by the time we are done. And before we go to the next location, I want to show you something super interesting about the flags of Minnesota.
And here in Minnesota, if you take a look at the Minnesota state flag, they recently changed it, and it very much so resembles the flag of Somalia. And really quick, I want to tell you guys about the sponsor of this video, Opus Clip. What used to just be an AI clipper has now become the most powerful AI growth tool for creators. Right now, over 10 million creators and businesses have used Opus Clip to help them gain over 60 billion views. I've used Opus, and I've even had my friends use it, and it helped my one friend with...
One Love says, Tim Walsh said there's fraud. What did he do? Change the flag to represent the star of the fraudsters. Unbelievable. Okay.
Nearly just 100 followers get a video up to 30,000 views. And it's super simple to use. All you do is you upload a video or copy a YouTube link, and Opus will do the rest, and it'll come out with tons of viral shorts for you then to choose from. And Opus just came out with their new AI editor 3.0 that comes with smarter auto framing, better virality scoring, and new captions. And I've said it before, but Opus is so simple that even my mom can use it.
And if I can use it, I know you can use it.
And right now, for you guys watching this video, Opus is going to hook you guys up with a sweet deal. You'll get 1 week free and 3 months at 50% off. All I have to do is go to the link in the description of this video or go to the pinned comment down below and use code Nick Shirley. 1 week free and 3 months at 50% off. And now let's get back into the video.
Guys, go support his channel. He has great information.
Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one, in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally 1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see if there's any children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that last daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars.
I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door.
Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare. Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare.
And after a few questions, the lady went silent.
Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Wow. Well, it could have been the cleaner too, but definitely something seems fishy here.
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Childcare.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which has its license for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids, and all the facilities are the same way, all of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, so guys, put a 1 in the chat if you think somebody's going to open. Put a 2 if no. 101 says, I don't understand why they can't send them back. Is our government ours or not? Okay, thank you for your comment. One Love says, any man whose name is Shirley, I have to check him out. Okay, very good. Chad says, this isn't an issue of Somalian, but an issue of auditing state funds being used by nonprofits. Seems like that is the root cause of the fraud continuing. All right, Mark Smith, maybe we're related, says, what I'm mostly worried about is where are these children? What have they done to these poor children? Where are they? Okay, great question. A lot of people want to know. So let's see if this person presents a child.
Once again, I tried to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door.
I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cuz I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No, I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah?
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Almost 2 million in 2025. Oh my goodness. They're like, what happened?
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
happened?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You worked here. Okay, well then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
I'm not my son. No! You're a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
So she says she's the owner, right?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your curry.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
no.
You said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now, they're all getting mad because he's shown the paperwork of this business being registered as a business. 74 children, no children. We saw one child when the lady opened up the door.
So
But now they're all getting mad.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking for the owner if you're telling me to talk to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
What in the world is going on? I'll be doggone. This is crazy.
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert?
Well, they're going to call Trump. Okay, Mark says the government is in on it. They're cashing in on our American dollar because America is crashing. Can't you see, people? Open your eyes. Our country is done for. We have been sold out. Oh, my. What a harsh reality. Okay, Stella says like, share, and subscribe, and turn on your notifications to be notified of upcoming shows. Thank you for all you do, Stella. You're so amazing. Jerry says, okay, now let's talk about the Trump administration and all the fraud they are committing to enrich themselves. Oh, my.
For missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
There's supposed to be 74 children there, and they only saw one. I wish they had explained, like, it's just a holiday for the people that are pushing back so we could get more of a clear understanding for the critical thinkers. But anyway, we've seen several establishments so far, and it's the same pattern, right?
Proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day.
As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city.
And now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center, absolutely no signage, and there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside. $5 million within the past
5.9 million in 2 years. 5.9 million they received in 2 years.
Now, I saw Nick Shirley here in New York City. He was attacked by one of the African guys out on the street. He's a bold soul. He had one cameraman with him that I could see. No, there was a bigger guy, a camera guy and a bigger guy. So he's playing a dangerous game out here with these individuals, but it's a part of good journalism, right?
That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now.
From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign. That's how blatant this fraud is here at this daycare.
Don't open up! So this is Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up!
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up!
So this is a learning center, and they misspelled learning. This has got to be April's Fool, right? This is crazy.
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up!
and getting $4 million over
Open
the
up! It's ice!
4 million?
99 children, they get $4 million, right, for the fiscal, and they misspell learning, and nobody's there. That's
$1
crazy.
million in the last 2 years.
Go away!
What do you think about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away!
Are you in favor of that?
Go away!
You know where
You're
the-
not welcome here!
Are you-
Shame on you!
Are you in favor of $1.9 million going illegally,
Open up!
fraudulently to this business that has Quality Learning Center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up!
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are, you don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up! It's ice!
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children right here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare center.
99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and order back in the streets of the United States.
Now, I'm a little confused. That lady does not look Somalian, but I guess, I don't know.
Get rid of all the fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child, you've never seen daycare.
I haven't seen anybody in here.
We're gonna educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
99 children.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None, not at all. None.
Okay, Jesus Crust says Somali daycare is accused of fraud. Lots of people abuse government subsidies. Look at all the corporations doing much worse. This whole report is a distraction. Okay, so we're getting some pushback. Okay, Chad says what Nick isn't telling you is that there is a star on the old MN flag. Okay, that is just a lie. It was to align with the Somalian flag. All right. Thank you for your pushback and understanding. Thank you.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know, where are the kids?
Right.
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that here.
seen a child here.
No, not at all.
And so you've
8
never
years.
seen a child here for 8 years?
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel, knowing that this place is receiving
Disgusting.
$1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant, too. That's, if they get caught for that, it's a federal offense. I know, I studied law.
Okay, Mark makes a good point. Says, answer me this question. Where have they put all the homeless men and women? They are nowhere to be found. If you ask me, they're done of them. They done off them. They have a alarm. Tell me where all of these people are. Okay, thank you.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? Well, heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here. It's simple. It's nothing there. It's a parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my God. Well, where? Yeah, it's just, I've never seen nobody here at all.
So how long have you been living here?
Since 2017, 2018.
You've never seen a single child walk in that building?
No, not at all.
So this daycare center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million just this year alone. And this guy's been living here for 8 years and has never seen a single child walk through those doors. There's no windows either.
No.
And the only window they do have, the door, is blacked out.
Yep, I see that. I've never seen anybody go in there.
Within just a few hours, we nearly approached $20 million in fraud, and we headed over to George Floyd's neighborhood to expose more of the fraud taking place.
Okay, so there you have it. 20 million just in those locations allegedly that they had went to. So if you want to continue to check it out in its full entirety, this video, you can check it out on Nick Kelly YouTube. He has a great channel. And like I said, he often comes to New York here. We have a similar role in trying to cover these protests. So I've seen him a couple of times. We're going to be back in about 30 minutes to go over Donald Trump's big speech that he gave. Feel free to come back and tune in for it. We're going to have a pretty good time covering some of the points, trying to understand where the president plans to take our country. A lot of people have concerns about issues. Like this video, we covered quite a few things. And even though we're covering what happens here or happens there in Minnesota, but we're covering many different subjects, most people want to know what's happening with the Epstein Files. So that's the big question. Perhaps we'll get an answer from the president himself, being that he actually knew Epstein quite extensively from what we have seen. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And again, you can tune back in about 30 minutes as we go through the President of the United States' most recent speech. And we thank each and every one of you for being here today. I see there was a lot of, most people did not feel that these were legitimate companies. And I think I can understand how you came to that conclusion as well. So be sure to tune back in about 30 minutes as we cover Donald Trump's speech. Thank you for tuning in to the channel.
Different voices, but the same song. Loving a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the flame remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world share in love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might. colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might.